may. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to start the recording here. And
stand by. Business Power Hour starts in 25 seconds.
okay, just to let you know, we did 7 minutes tonight. We're going to get 7 minutes on the dot.
15 seconds. 10 seconds.
The BizNews Power Hour.
Welcome to the BizNews Power Hour, where we give you the rational perspective on business news that matters. Well, tonight, very rational, but very rough in many ways. We're going to be having a look at the other side of some, I suppose, upbeat news that we've had lately. We're talking to Magnus Haystack and then a little later to Russell Lamberti about growing concerns that South Africa's heading towards failed state status. We've seen, for instance, the deterioration in municipalities and elsewhere. But what is really concerning to those who are watching the finances of the country is in February's budget, we were promised that there would be 265 billion rands taken off the public sector wage bill. That was desperately required to get the books starting to look a little bit like they were manageable. Well, the first year of the public wage negotiations has shown not a decline, as has been promised, but in fact an increase in the number that is going to be spent there, which really makes the national budget look like an exercise in futility. We'll also be going north of the border to Zimbabwe, where news that we've been reporting on the BizNews Power Hour recently has been upbeat. Well, John Robertson, an ex-financial editor and merchant banker, tells us that we've been completely off the mark, and he'll give some very good reasons for that. A bit more uplifting news, I guess, is the interview that my colleague, Justin Rowe Roberts, is doing on the property sector after a big deal today between Attack and Equitas. And then, of course, we have our partners in the UK, the Financial Times of London, bringing us up to date on all the international news. But before we get there, let's catch up on the local news and the markets.
BrightRock believes that with every change in life comes opportunity, and the markets aren't any different. The daily movement in the markets mean change for us all, sometimes small, sometimes big. This daily market report is made just for you by BrightRock, the first ever needs-matched life insurance that changes as your life changes.
Let's start with the news headlines here in South Africa. My colleague Nadia Swart.
A shocking new report shows a tsunami of illegal tobacco is flooding South Africa as a result of authorities' failure to act on damning evidence of the world's biggest black market. The new report by market researchers IPSOS reveals that 2 in 3 shops in the hotspot provinces of Free State, Gauteng, and the Western Cape sell illegal cigarettes, and that illegal cigarettes are on sale in nearly half of all shops nationwide. Yusuf Abramji, founder of Tax Justice South Africa, warns that criminals are being allowed to loot the nation of billions of rands by making and selling tax-evading cigarettes. Steinhoff International, which is still grappling with the consequences of an accounting scandal that wiped out 200 billion rand in shareholder value, says Dublin-based Hamilton has withdrawn an appeal relating to voting procedure in its proposed settlement plan. Hamilton, a litigation funding company based in Ireland, which is seeking more than 16 billion rand on behalf of about 14,000 retail investors, asset managers, and pension funds in SA. One of the world's fastest pace of deaths from COVID-19 infections hasn't been able to trounce widespread hesitancy over vaccines in South Africa. Deaths from the virus in the country rose 72% week on week as of Monday, according to data compiled by Bloomberg, and is the 5th fastest worldwide, behind only Zimbabwe on the continent. Health experts have warned that a lack of communication coupled with anti-vaccine propaganda may be responsible for daily doses languishing almost 50% below President Cyril Ramaphosa's target. South African police plan to arrest former President Jacob Zuma by midnight on Wednesday in the absence of any further instruction from the Constitutional Court, Police Ministry spokeswoman Ranzu Temba said. Police Minister Becky Cele sought clarity from the court about the arrest order after Zuma applied to a lower court to have it suspended. Spokeswoman Temba said that failing to do so would mean that the minister and the police commissioner would be in contempt of court, and that the minister has indicated that he is not prepared to be charged for contempt of court. The judgment on the application to stay the arrest will be handed down on July 9th.
Thanks, Nadia. Lots in the news today, not a hell of a lot of it good. Perhaps Justin Rowe-Roberts has got some better information for us from the markets.
Better news, Alec, with the JSE All-Share Index up more than 1% at 66,700. In the currency markets, the rand is flat against all the major currencies to 14 rand 30 cents to the dollar, 19 rand 75 cents to the pound, and 16 rand 89 cents to the euro. Gold is steady at $1,801 an ounce. Kruger Rand is trading at approximately 27,000 Rand. Brent crude is lower at $75.50 a barrel, and Bitcoin is trading at around the 500,000 Rand mark. A great day for South African mining, with commodities across the board strong, especially the precious group metals. In the news today, Equitas Property Fund announced the acquisition of a logistics property in the Waterfall node. Less than a few hours after the announcement of the property, the group announced an accelerated book build for 500 million Rand. Subsequent to the book build being oversubscribed, the capital raise was increased to 1 billion Rand at a 2% discount to the company's share price. And debt-laden paper and packaging provider Nampak announced that their lenders were willing to extend their covenants due to improved operating conditions.
That's interesting, the big book build where they start off with 500 million Rand and then take it up to 1 billion Rand. It appears as though some people want to buy property shares, or in particular Equitas.
Demand for Equitas shares, that's for sure. It's interesting that there's been a couple of these accelerated book builds, and it differs among the property companies. Equitas has a low loan-to-value ratio, and there's demand from the banks.
And you are going to be talking a little later to the CEO.
I'm looking forward to that. There's a lot of nitty-gritty in the acquisition that needs to be uncovered. So looking forward to that chat with Andrea Taverna-Turasan.
And time now to pick up with our partners in London at the Financial Times. Hubba, 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 hubba. Well done. I just, Nadia, did you notice maybe that when we were talking, Justin muted his microphone. It just helps a little bit. And when we started off, I also closed all of the faders here as well. Just helps a little bit with it's just we're getting better with these things as we get to understand them more.
Do that next time.
All right,
Okay.
Justin, 8 minutes.